Money Matters is brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited and Capital Financial.
Good evening and welcome to Money Matters. Money Matters is a show brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union and Capital Financial. Basically, it's a show educating the public about the various financial services that these institutions offer. Today we have with us Mr. Rommel Amy, and Rommel is going to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about these institutions. Rommel, how are you doing?
Good, nice try.
Nice.
Yeah. My title at the credit union is Senior Financial Services Representative of the Credit Underwriting and Disbursements section at Carlton Blackrock.
Okay.
The Barbados Public Workers Credit Union currently has 4 branches in Barbados. They're located at Blackrock, my branch as I just said, Broad Street, 6 Roads, and Belmont Road, our head office.
Right.
Our subsidiary, Capital Financial, is located in the Cooperatives General Building in Upper Column Rocks in Michael.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what your job entails? Like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Currently, being the senior supervisor at my branch, I'll be in charge of analyzing loans,
Right.
looking at credit underwriting as far as what my officers do. Also, general supervision of the branch, right? Which should entail supervising the branch on a day-to-day basis, teller area, reception, and so forth.
So if I were to come into your branch, I wouldn't necessarily see you. You're not the first line of offense, so to speak.
Generally, no. I move around in the office, but you'll generally probably see one of my loans officers.
Right.
And obviously then I do interviews in between, right? And I act as a second point in terms of the analysis of the loans before the loans are then sent off to the credit committee.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back with more Money Matters.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong. Over the years, we've cared for you to help you meet your needs. Trustworthy, dependable, so you can grow financially. The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Excellent service, all values strong. Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong.
Barbados is a beautiful place to live, and you work hard to support your family so they can enjoy a good quality life. You spend your money wisely, and that is why you need reliable insurance coverage for your home, its contents, and your car. Cooperators General Insurance offers very affordable rates. It is owned locally by the credit union movement, and special discounts are available to all credit union members. So your choice is an easy one. Protect your family and your investments by insuring with Cooperators General Insurance today. Cooperators General, insurance the way you want it to be.
Welcome back to Money Matters, and as I said before, we're here with Mr. Rommel Amy of the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Tell me, why would a person need a mortgage?
Now, there's certain big decisions that persons need to make. What we call lifetime decisions or lifetime investments. These would include, purchasing property, building your own dream house, even purchasing land. Now, everyone doesn't have the cash to do that at the same time. So what happens is that the mortgage is a vehicle that we use as a method of financing the person's dream. So that, every Bajan, every Barbadian can have a piece of the rock.
Right. But I've heard some people saying that they don't trust mortgages and they'd rather take the time and build the cash on their own and build a house themselves, so to speak. What would you say are the benefits of having a mortgage versus trying to do it on your own?
Well, it's a well-known fact that the longer you take to do something, the more money it's going to cost. So by getting the mortgage, you get to build your house or that investment you want to make, you get to do it now, as opposed to stretching it over a period of time where inadvertently it will cost more money. Okay. So that's why it's so important that you come and get a mortgage so you can do what you want to do now and then make other plans for the future. Get that out of the way, plan for something else.
Tell me some of the different types of mortgages that exist.
Okay. All right. At the credit union, we offer 3 different types of mortgages. Right? We have the mortgage for the member who is now looking to build or purchase a property. Right? That is one type. Then there's some persons who, for some reason, they just want to purchase some land. They're looking at maybe investing in their children's future or doing something else in the future. So we have the mortgage where you just purchase your land alone. And then there's some persons who could have inherited a property, a house, or whatever the case may be. And there's the third type of mortgage where we actually look at the equity from the existing property that you have, which would presently have no ties. And we will look at using that as security for the mortgage.
Let's say, for example, I wanted to purchase a piece of land. What would I need to do? Like what would you advise me to do?
Well, usually what I advise persons to do is have an idea of what you qualify for a mortgage first.
Right.
If you're planning to build in the immediate future. Because you don't want to be a situation where you go and purchase a piece of land, and then when you're looking at how much you qualify for the mortgage, you don't have enough room to actually, qualify to build on the land.
Right.
So I encourage persons to, get an idea of what you qualify for, come in, speak to us, and then from there you can make a decision as to what price range you're looking at for your land purchase. The land loans run for a period of 20 years, right. And we offer competitive interest rates also. Right? For the persons that are looking to do their mortgage now, right. We have a maximum period of 35 years, which is pretty long.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
As I said, we try to be competitive. We heard the masses. We extend the time to suit the younger persons that are looking to get their mortgages from early. So we extend that time so that it could benefit them. You don't have to be saddled with too much debt all during your old age. You can start from early. Right? So that's the mortgage. And our home equity loan, which is the third mortgage that I was talking about, that also too runs for a period of 20 years.
So let me ask you this. Do you guys ever give that length of time, meaning for the basic regular mortgage, to an older person? Because I have heard in some instances where an older person, let's say a person who's over 50, is not given as much time as a younger person to repay the mortgage. How do you deal with that age discrepancy?
At the credit union, Barbados Public Workers, our mortgages go up to age 65. Okay. Right? So for a person that's 50, that's about 15 years or so to repay, because as you would know, some persons develop in their career later than others.
Yeah.
But to counter that, what we did is our subsidiary, Capital Financial, they actually do mortgages up to age 70. Right? So if it's a situation where the person just needs that extra time, they could also be diverted over to Capital to do their mortgage there as well.
Okay.
Right? So we try to cater to both the younger professionals and then also the persons that would have developed a little later, after they finish the masters or whatever the case may be, they can still come do the mortgage. If it's a situation where they need some more time over age 65, then we have our subsidiary Capital who can facilitate that as well.
Okay, so no need to feel rushed or that they're disadvantaged because you're further along in age?
No.
Okay.
We cater to whatever pace you're going at, we can cater to that as well.
Who can come to you and apply for a mortgage?
Well, our membership right now is open to everyone, all sundry. As long as you come and open your membership, is a very easy process, not limited to public workers or anymore.
So you don't necessarily have to be public workers in the sense that you work for the government or anything like that?
No, not have to be public workers. Anyone can come. You can have your membership done, and as long as your membership has been ratified, then you are eligible then to apply for a loan, or in this case, the mortgages.
What would I need to bring to you if I'm applying for a land loan?
Okay. For the land loan, what we would want you to bring is a valuation of the actual plot of land, so we know what the market value of the land is, the plot of sale of the land. Also, we will be looking to get the letter of sale from the vendor. Right? In addition, we would also like you to bring your job letter and pay slip so we can be able to calculate your debt to service ratios and so on. Right?
What about those of us who might be self-employed and therefore we can't go to a boss and ask for a job letter because we are the boss?
Right.
How do we compensate for that?
Okay. Well, in the case of the self-employed persons, we would ask you to bring in audited financials for the past 3 years, and that would substitute for the payslip and job letter. So the process is still the same, but it's just that one extra step where you would bring your financials into us.
Okay. And if the person if they're running like a micro enterprise and their financials will not necessarily be audited, how does that work?
Well, we too, you can have your unaudited financials brought in as well. We have our financial analyst on hand who peruses and analyzes all the information to give us an idea then of how your cash flow, how your business is doing, so then we can make a decision to send it on to the credit committee.
What's the average length of time that it would take for an approval to come back if I were applying for a land loan?
Okay, Strad. Depending on the information that you brought in,
Right.
it could take as little as 1 week to know if you've been approved for your plot of land.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Right? In terms of the legal process, that legal process could vary to as little as 6 weeks to all the way maybe just 3 months or so, all depending on the accessibility of us getting the titles, the information to the titles and so forth, the searches and so on.
So can you give us a little explanation as to what these searches entail, or maybe why they have to be done?
Well, in general, because we're going to be using that land as security,
Yeah.
we would just like to be at ease as far as knowing that we've purchased the land from not only some person that's reputable, but also that there's no judgments and stuff associated with the actual land. Because you don't want to be a situation where, you've gone through all your legal stuff, whatever the process was there, and for some reason, the land is involved in, something else.
Right.
So that's why it's so important that we do the search at the inception of the whole process, so that we don't butt upon any hiccups later down.
Okay, we got to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be discussing mortgages of homes.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong. Over the years, we've cared for you to help you meet your needs. Trustworthy, dependable, so you can grow financially. The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Excellent service, all values strong. Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong.
Bellevue House or Bellevue Plantation Estate is your #1 venue for weddings, private functions, entertainment events, large family holidays, or retreats. Bellevue is located just 10 minutes from Bridgetown and South Coast beaches and has a lovely view across the Bridgetown Harbor. We have large entertainment rooms, spacious grounds with large swimming pool and bar area. There are 2 large dining tables that are great for elegant dining or holding board meetings. If you want a classy, spacious, affordable location to hold your important function in style, call Bellevue today, cause we'll go that extra mile.
Welcome back to Money Matters. We're here still with Mr. Rommel Amy from the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. And next on the agenda, we're talking about mortgages. And when I say mortgages, I'm talking about the full-on, I want to come and I want to get a property, I want to build my home. Let's start to talk about how that process works, Rommel.
First, we were going to look at asking you to come in, set an appointment. We're going to be looking at your incomes, your ages, so we're going to be able to calculate what you actually qualify for. Right? You will make the determination if it's a situation where you're going to be building or you're going to be purchasing the property. Right? Once we know which of the 2 processes you're doing, then we'll look at asking you to either bring your evaluation if you're going to be purchasing that property, or you're going to get your quantity surveyor's report if you're going to be building. Right? Once you've done that, we go from there as far as you starting the actual, or continuing, I should say, the actual process. The mortgages, we know that persons sometimes think that building is cheaper. So some persons may do a land loan and then want to build after,
Yeah.
right? But we've seen a new trend where, especially with the property developers and so on, where you're getting a full package. In my opinion, I'm thinking that in some cases it might actually be cheaper to get your full package house and land one time. As opposed to sometimes building where you can run into cost overruns and so on. Right? So, as I said, we've seen that trend where the persons we're really going for the whole property. You could appreciate why, because it's speedier as far as the steps into moving into the house. There's a less headache. You don't have to worry about any cost overruns. You don't have to worry about contractors or anything like that there on your end. So persons are opting to do that, and as I said, that's one less thing you have to focus on. Right? As far as the persons may ask about 100% financing.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes, we do 100% financing of mortgages at the credit union, as long as you qualify for the amount and the values are there. We would cover 100% of the cost of purchasing the property.
So you're saying then, if I go and I find a property that's like $850,000, and I am qualified and my income can qualify me for that, that I can get a loan of up to $850,000?
Well, not quite.
100% financing?
In theory, yes, but at the credit union, our loans are limited to $600,000.
Okay.
So, exact thing you said, but just we shaved down the figures a little bit.
All right,
down to
got you.
$600,000. Yes, once the values are there and you qualify for it, we'll be able to finance the mortgage for you.
Okay, at 100%.
100%. There's just a small savings that you need to have on the account of $4,000,
Okay.
which is on your account for the life of the actual mortgage, and you also get interest on that money.
Right.
Just a point, Strat. A lot of people might not know this, but we also offer something that we call passionate refund.
Okay.
So we realize you're paying your interest, you're paying your mortgage faithfully every month, So what would happen is that around the AGM time, June or so, we would actually refund you some of the interest that you would have paid to your mortgage.
Really?
Really.
And this interest goes into my account?
This is interest that's accessible to you,
Right.
that you can take and do any little extra thing that you could have been planning for, that you want to do, either to pay your insurance or whatever the case may be. So we too know about the economic times, and we try to put measures in place to help our members as far as, giving back.
All right, Ramel, so we've been talking about mortgages, and I brought the example if I wanted to get 100% financing to build my home or buy my home. How do you guys calculate the interest? A lot of people seem to be concerned about paying back interest, if they're going to get penalties and that kind of thing. Like, how does it work with you guys?
Okay, all right. What we've done, all of our loans actually, we are calculated at the reducing balance. Right? So the interest is calculated on the reducing balance. What this means is that if you pay extra money, right, it actually goes to the principal. Right? The majority of money goes to the principal. By extension, what that means is that you could actually clear off your loan or your mortgage faster. Right? We've made that provision there. Some persons run into money for whatever reason, lotto, inheritance, whatever the case may be. And you can come and bring that money, pay into the loan, and actually see a difference in terms of the loan balance or the mortgage balance, right? There's no penalties for paying off the mortgage early. Some places you might have a commitment fee or whatever for some period of having the mortgage for less than a period of time. At the credit union, that is not something that we do. You can pay off the facility at your earliest convenience.
Another thing that I find people are concerned about or have been concerned about is this idea of the legal fees and whether or not they're a part of the loan or if they have to pay for them out of pocket. How do you guys deal with that?
Right. With the legal fees, what we do is we actually can include the legal fees in the actual mortgage. As I said earlier, because it's 100%, we look at the costs that are associated with the actual mortgage, which would not be limited to just purchasing the property or building, but also the legal fees associated with it. So we also can include that inside of the mortgage. So that is another thing that you would not have to worry about as far as looking for finances to deal with your legal fees.
Okay. And just so people will understand, people that might not know, why are these legal fees necessary?
It's important because you would know that you're using a property or a land and security. A title is being passed. So as long as this is happening, you'll find a situation where legal services will need to be in suit.
Right.
Right? The legal fees will consist of your legal expenses for your lawyer. You would look at your stamp duty, your recording fees,
Right,
VAT,
right.
and search fees. So it's just a combination of monies that you pay as part of the legal process, so that you make sure that at the end of the day, that the titles of the property, everything is in line. Right? So that's why it's important that legal fees or legal work is done on the mortgage. It cannot be avoided.
Speaking of searches, I was wondering, in addition to the searches on the title, how would a judgment search on the person that is looking to borrow affect their ability to receive an approval?
Okay, well, we look at as you said rightfully, we do a judgment search. It's not a case where we just see the judgment search and automatically just scrap you.
Right.
What we would do, we would engage to see what are the specifics of the judgment. Every person that has a judgment search on them, it might not necessarily be their fault,
Yeah.
or the situation that they might have been in before, they might not be in that situation, no.
Right.
So we would engage you to see the severity of the judgment search before we would make an in-depth decision as to if we're going to proceed forward or not.
Okay, and leading on from that, would a negative judgment affect a person's ability to get 100% financing, or like what penalties might or might not happen if you are a little bit untrustworthy of the potential borrower?
Well, as far as the judgments are concerned, as I said, we look at them individually. We also look at your credit rating.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes persons, again, might have a credit rating that might not be as desirable as we want. But again, we have to look at their present situation. So even if you do have a bad credit rating, don't let that deter you from actually coming to apply for the mortgage, because we will engage you and see where you're at right now. So that it should not be an issue.
Okay, something that slipped my mind earlier. It's a scenario. What if a person comes to you and they go through the whole process and then they realize, you know what, I don't have any money to furnish my home. Like, how would you deal with that situation? Is it something you deal with beforehand, or like what happens when that happens?
Okay, Strad. Okay, wherever possible at the point of engagement with the interview, we would try to address these particular, scenarios.
Yeah.
Where we're going to look at how you're going to be doing your furnishing, if you're going to be looking at installing your solar heater, your water tank, those kind of things, right? Sometimes persons opt and say no, they will leave it out. But in the event that at the end the mortgage, the furniture you had is no good anymore, you want to actually purchase new furniture, we can also facilitate some short-term loans to help that come about as well.
Right.
Right? So again, if we are able to tackle it at the beginning, it is good, because we might not be able to cover all the furniture that you might want for the mortgage. But if it's a situation where you at the end you remember, or you see something else you want to change, we can look into actually financing that as well for you.
Okay, so I can get my big screen TV.
You can get your 52-inch screen TV, you can get your home theater, you can get the full works.
Okay, Ramal, here's a scenario. Some people may or may not think of this, but there may be certain expenses that occur as a result of, or let's say that spill over from actually having the mortgage. And that may or may not affect a person's ability to handle their own finances, as time goes on, as well as paying their mortgage. Let's talk about some of those.
Okay, right. What happens is that at the interview stage, we would look at the quotes for life insurance, property insurance, have an idea of your things like your land tax and so on, because these are some additional expenses that actually accompany a new mortgage owner.
Yeah.
That they might or might not actually plan for. So we incorporate that in the analysis to give us a snapshot to see if you'll be comfortable with your mortgage payment. Right? In addition to doing that, we've actually instituted a method to assist members in actually planning towards renewing the respective taxes and so forth.
Okay.
Right? Where you can actually pay towards your renewal annually. And then at the point of renewal, we would actually look at renewing the respective insurances and taxes for you. So we're not only looking at your mortgage payment, but we're looking at assisting you in planning as far as your insurances and land taxes are concerned.
Okay.
Those provisions are in place so that it would be a situation where at the time of renewal, you would not have to look for that lump sum of money to pay. You'd be paying towards it all during the year.
Okay, I got you. So you're looking out for your members then?
Yeah, we're looking out for the members from the inception
right
right all the way down to the end.
Now you say you speak of the end. Now that leads me to another question. This might be a little bit more controversial. What happens, like how do you deal with members who default, or let's say 3 months go by and they can't make their mortgage payment?
If it's a situation where a member's defaulting on their mortgage,
Yeah.
we would call them in and we would try to see what their problem is and how we could actually find a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Right? Our first initial step wouldn't be to foreclose or repossess the house.
Yeah.
We would try to work with the actual member.
Okay.
Because you know that some members go through a rough time.
Yeah.
So we try to put some things in place to see if it's a situation where we could assist, whether it be waiving some of the interest or whatever from the mortgage, so as to help the member get back on their feet so that they could resume the payments.
Okay, sounds good.
Being at the Barbados Public Workers Credit Union, and we know about our members' needs and so on, we care about our members. We also have established a financial education unit,
Right.
and there's also a hotline that you can call, that if you are experiencing any financial problems, not only limited to your mortgage, but any financial problems whatsoever, you can actually come and get professional financial advice for free. So
Really?
that is also something that we have instituted to help assist our members. We know that these are challenging times, and we want to assist our members however we can. So that's free professional advice. You can come in, you can make the appointment, financial education unit.
Let's talk about the different options that members have with regards to making their loan payments. Apart from going into the 4 branches that you would have mentioned earlier, what other options would we have?
Okay. There are a couple of options available. We have the SurePay outlets.
Yeah.
There's a SurePay almost on every corner. So if you know your account number, your loan ID number,
Yeah.
you can come and pay at SurePay. There's also direct debit as in form of remunerations from your actual organization.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a payroll deduction, you can do that. That's convenient. Right? You also can do a standing order. Your actual
Direct from the
workplace,
bank
but
account.
not send the money straight to us. So if you
Right.
send it to a bank, you can do a standing order from your bank. So these are just methods that make it easier for you to actually pay your loans. In addition to that, you can also offer fast deposit services, and you can also make the payments through the ATMs as well.
Does the credit union have an online portal, like a website that you can go on and maybe make payments
Yes,
through that
we
as
do
well?
have our internet banking,
Okay.
where you can also pay your loans online as well.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we try to maximize on all the different kinds of methods so that hopefully one of them will be able to suit the particular member.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Also during construction, I realized that you need to purchase your construction materials and so on. We've had partnerships with hardwares and other organizations where you can get discounts while you're doing your actual mortgage.
Okay.
That information is also on our website, www.publicworkers.bb.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, thanks for coming, Ramel.
it's been my pleasure.
It was very informative. I hope you guys learned a lot as well, and see you next time on Money Matters.